We are talking today about vendor partners, why they're important, how to get them, how to use them to grow your business. So we were just going over like one of the really big things about picking these partners or recommending them is to never recommend somebody that you haven't personally worked with or had somebody close to you work with and have a good experience.
That's right. Or, so that can be tricky. So can we talk about that for just a second? Because
Absolutely.
we want to grow our vendor list. So how do we grow it? Because we can't use everybody ourselves.
Right. Or give everybody a shot. Everybody needs a one-time thing, right?
Yeah. And I think that the best part, the easiest thing to do when it comes to that, because everyone does deserve a shot, right?
Yeah.
You have to filter them through first, make sure that they have the same values that you have and that your team has, and they work the same way, and that they answer calls when you answer calls and that sort of thing. But at one point, you got to kind of let them go with your client.
Yeah.
So I think just picking the right client to match them up with and making sure that that first trial run is somebody that you can kind of hold their hand on the backside.
Yeah, maybe not recommending a handyman for, a client that's out of state who won't be there to be able to see like what they're doing might not be the best fit to start out with, but maybe somebody who is in town will be home and can just kind of be like, okay, like this isn't working out really well, like supervising.
Exactly. Or that your client needs a lot of hand holding, like maybe they're not tech savvy. Don't try a new lender who's going to expect them to put everything on line on their computer system. And they're like, I don't have a computer.
Right.
You might want to go with somebody that that you can kind of call and be like, hey, this is the situation we have.
100%. So, talking about lenders and stuff, I feel like a lot of real estate agents and stuff know the like basic type of vendors to have like as their referral partners, like attorneys, lenders, insurance providers and stuff. But I feel like they kind of stop at that and don't really think outside the box. So
and nobody goes deeper.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is like people are always asking for recommendations online or texting you because they really believe like you know everything.
Well, if you think about it, like if they're coming out of town, they don't know anybody, but you do. And you portray yourself as the neighborhood expert, right?
That's right.
So if you're the neighborhood expert, that's more than just how much did the neighbor's house sell for, or what are the HOA covenants. That's also, hey, who makes your hair look so awesome? Amanda at Tangles and Knots.
Yeah, this brings you to be like community expert.
Exactly. Or, there's going to be questions that they're going to ask that you really can't answer, but these vendor questions, take it and run. Show them that you are the neighborhood expert with your vendors.
So let's talk about some types of vendors that, you really wouldn't think about to have on your list or, to start thinking about. Athena just said, her hairdresser, that's a really big one. I see people ask about that a lot on Facebook.
Well, there's not a time that I'm not sitting in that chair that I don't hear a conversation about real estate somewhere. And my ears are tuned in. I never go into that salon and ask for business, right?
But they know you are in real estate.
But they know I am. And sometimes she'll even like turn my chair a little bit if she hears the conversation.
She'll be like, here is your expert. So, going on with the hairdresser, what else can you think of that would be really good vendor?
Well, you said a contractor. And I think that it's important to have like 3 levels of a contractor, right? You need a general contractor who can do the big old stuff and has a license and everything. You need kind of like your jack of all trades. They can go and do everything and they have good connections to the licensed people if they need them. And then you need your handyman who can go scrape a door or scrape meat for you and isn't going to be a 3-week wait or $7,000.
And that's what I was going to say too, is like in the world that we live in now, it's probably would behoove us all to have multiple, vendors for each category, because especially the contractors and the handymen, like getting them to do a job these days is like an act of Congress, I feel like.
Well, you're also talking about matchmaking right now. You're literally matchmaking your client to a vendor partner.
Mm-hmm.
And not everyone's going to be the perfect fit. Everybody has a different personality. Everybody has different needs. Everybody has a different budget, and different vendors offer different things. So that, if there is one takeaway that you take away today, it is, do not create a relationship that is, I don't want to say one-sided, but basically don't put yourself in a corner to where you can only refer one person.
Yes. And also, like, a lot of handymen and contractors and stuff, they won't do jobs if they're very small. So, having different categories, like Athena said, I think is really great as well. Some other ones, if you're going to keep going with the service ones, like, people are always asking for, like, a doctor, dentist, nail salon,
Dry cleaning.
Yeah. And like a gym, a yoga studio, like, people don't think having that on their vendor list. I don't think we have one on our vendor list.
No, that's a really good idea, actually. We had a client call in one time she wants to start a yoga studio. So
yeah. And a masseuse,
I know
graphic designers. Babysitters. Yeah. I mean, that one should be a big list. So, I mean, take time and, come up with this huge list, because, people, you just think about all the stuff that people need to know. A mechanic, where can I get my oil change? Where can I get my tires? Yeah, exactly. So, just sit down and spend 30 minutes and start, writing this stuff down in these businesses that you can think about. Just pick the categories, and then, and then think about, like, where you've had a really good service. Like, have you gone to the local coffee shop and they are just so sweet to your child? Like, they give her, a cake pop every time you go in, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, above and beyond. Like, people want to know that, and that's great to have on your vendor list, right?
And they want to know, I mean, I can't tell you how many times they get asked, where should we go have lunch, or where should we go have dinner? And that is so much more than the food. It's the service. Because if you have somebody coming to your town to try to figure out if they want to live there or not, you better make sure that you are giving them the top of the line service everywhere. So don't send them to the bar, the hole in the wall bar, where they only serve the people they know.
And again, like, I think having categories and stuff of that would be really good too, because, you're going to have your upper level restaurants and stuff where, like, probably isn't the best place to just go hang out and have oysters and beer.
Right.
But, have the different categories of, family friendly, date night, and everything in between is really cool too.
Or if you have a family full of kids who came in their Mercedes 12-passenger van, you probably shouldn't send them to the brand new restaurant that just opened up and requires reservations. And
the Sprinter van, the one that we want to get for the office. So, thinking about, the types of people that you want to develop these relationships with, because just like your clients and stuff, it's really important to have great vendor relationships. So when you're thinking about these people and you're writing your list down, you're going to want to, like, talk to them and build rapport. But you also want to keep in mind, like, you don't really want to partner, with business owners that are already very dedicated to other real estate agents in your area. Because there are a lot that already have developed relationships. And while they might be open to having additional relationships, because of course they want business, what are the chances that you're going to be the one that they refer business to, right? Because we're always referring business to them.
I think this is hard too, because as our industry continues to grow, there are more of us than there are of other people. So they're going to know other people. And that's where you have to be the one to stand out and make sure that you are not providing a one-sided relationship.
Exactly. You have to make it worth their while to be in business with you.
That's right.
And like you. Okay. Yes. That's a big part.
I mean, you have to stand out in front of your clients, but you also have to, I mean, the way that we're talking about this, I mean, you literally, your vendors are your clients also. They might not be under contract with you, but they will be, and they will be sending clients your way. So they're your clients, not just your vendors. And I think if you can transition your brain to think of it that way, it will make all of those relationships so much smoother.
Yeah. And, while you're developing this list of prospective vendors to add, if you're coming up with the categories, or even if you need help coming up with those categories, go to your friends and ask them. Post on Facebook, post on Nextdoor, and ask and be like, hey, I need to know, who are your top, mechanics? Who's your favorite hairstylist? What's your favorite restaurants? Like, ask the masses, because I will tell you, people online, they are not shy, and they are going to tell you the truth.
My favorite way to do that is with a story. And then you put the little like comment bubble. Mm-hmm. So all they have to do is flip through your story, and they're so much more likely to comment on a story where their stuff isn't there to be seen forever.
Yeah.
You will get so many messages. So not only are you building your vendor list, you're creating messages and conversations with people that you might not have talked to in a while, which opens the door for more business as well.
And on a side note, it throws the Facebook algorithms or Instagram algorithms so that now you're starting to show up on their feeds again too. So anything social media aimed to include engagement is going to be a huge part of that too.
Listen, I'm so excited. I'm ready to like hop off of here and go get started on this myself.
On this, yeah. Well, so it's going to get a little bit good in a minute here too. But, I just want to tell all of our friends, like, I am still really sick. I had food poisoning last night. And as much as we joke and talk about eating Mexican food and tacos and margaritas, I had a flight of margaritas yesterday and Mexican food, and I was dying. So I'm still like pale, and that's why I'm not like my happy. Like,
I'm the opposite. I'm all red
today.
I have no idea why.
So Athena got sick from Mexican food last week.
Different restaurants, different
restaurants, yeah. And I don't even eat meat, so I only had Jess Cassity. But we just want to be truthful and honest and let you know, like, I am suffering today.
If Jess runs out, she doesn't feel good.
Oh, Mackenzie, yeah, girl, Mackenzie was at lunch with me too, so I'm assuming you're fine. It's fine. It's cool. I'll take the brunt here. It's funny though, like developing these relationships and, all that stuff. What my suggestion is to build that rapport and how to start this vendor program that we're going to talk about here in just a hot minute is I would start talking to these vendors, feeling them out and having a conversation, something similar to like, hey, I have a lot of clients that come to me and they need a lender, plumber, painter, whatever. And they always need a recommendation. I'd love to have a good working referral partner with a local lender like yourself, and that I can start referring clients to. And how does that sound to you? And this is why, you're going to have that go-to list, because they're going to be like, oh, like, you want me to be your go-to. Like, I love that. Of course they're going to love that, right? You're baiting the hooks with clients, which are referral partners, and they're going to be the same thing, right? So when you do that and you call them and you're going to let them know that you have this vendor partner, you can introduce them, because you're like, hey, this is Athena. She works at Atlantic Bay, and like, she's local, she's here, she's the best, and I just want to hook you guys up so that you guys can start building that relationship.
I just want to reiterate again, do not let your relationships become one-sided,
mm-hmm.
because that will show to your clients.
Yes.
Be a partner to your vendors. We live in this world of real estate where I think that we're used to being wined, dined, and treated nicely.
69, okay, not that
one. Seriously, we're spoiled ass brats.
Yes.
My kids get it, honestly. But no, we are spoiled. Do not take advantage of people, because they don't want to work with you when you do that. But I also know that at a brokerage that I used to be at, you were almost taught to go see who can offer you the best. That's not what this is about. This is a relationship game, and it's a long-term relationship game. This isn't, use this person this time and this person that time and this person that time. If you want your business to be elevated, you want to be seen as the professional, have a professional team.
And being loyal to your vendor partners, they will appreciate beyond anything, because there is a very lack of that. But at the same time, what Athena's saying is you also don't want it to backfire onto you either. Like having a vendor referral partner that you send a bunch of business to, but have they ever sent anything to you? No. Then is that a one-sided relationship?
Yeah.
So setting up that expectation with a conversation that's like, hey, here's my plan for this referral program that I want to, you to be a part of. I'd like to keep referring clients your way in exchange for you sending clients my way. Okay. I'd like to have a professional relationship going forward. And, how does that sound to you? So that they're in agreement and they don't just know that you're just going to send everything to them for nothing. Right.
How about reaching out to them if that doesn't feel comfortable to you?
You're better.
How about reaching out to them and just saying, hey, I'm struggling with this in my business. Would you like to get together and mastermind about how you're handling this?
Yeah.
Or would you like to get together and mastermind about your business plan? Or this is really freaking simple. Hey, can I take you to coffee? Because I guarantee you these other vendors are not being asked if you can pay for their coffee.
No, and they're treated really bad, honestly, by a lot of other real estate agents.
Yeah. Hey, can I buy you a cup of coffee and can we just talk about what your goals are this year and how I can help you with your goals and you can help me with mine?
Yep.
It's really as simple as that.
Yeah. And, helping them grow their business too. You're coming to them and it's not just, hey, like I'm going to send people to you, but I would love to share your business, your services on my social media and help you grow your business as well. Like this is going to grow your business, not just from what comes from me, but to have another platform to help you get to where you want to go as well.
Exactly.
And developing this vendor program, it's going to help you grow your sphere of influence. It's going to help you service your sphere of influence. It's going to bring in another way of growing your sphere of influence because now you have another referral partner who's going to send you business, hopefully, if all things go correctly. Right?
Because that's the goal. The goal is, yes, the goal is to lead generate. Lead generate. 9 to 11, 5 days a week, make 100 phone calls. But no, everybody's end game is to have people calling them, not the other way around.
Everyone, not just real estate agents, but.
So let your partners work for you. Let them send people your way. And then you don't have to be making those 100 outgoing calls because you're getting 100 incoming calls.
Yeah. So like Athena said, having those relationships and taking care of your vendor partners too. So when you have this vendor program, you've got your list, you've got your top superstars. Now you want to provide them that love. Okay. You want to give them an opportunity to make you be the superstar. So a great way to start feeding this referral machine, right, is the social media posts that we talked about. Specifically like the in search of posts, sharing that information, doing business spotlight. And then like my favorite is to continue to provide value is setting up, these like monthly vendor check-ins to like just pop by the vendors, bring them breakfast, just drop by a little treat, send them, a basket or set up vendor events. Right? Like where it's a client event, but it's just for your vendors.
I love that.
Like nobody else is doing that for your vendors. And it's really making them appreciate the work that they do for your clients and for themselves in general, right? So you can do all of that, but you can also do like quarterly mixes and get everybody out there and have fun.
I thought you were going to say and get everybody drunk.
That's up to them.
I seriously thought that's what you were going to say.
Oh, I'm taking a break from a margarita right now because I'm still queasy, but
I celebrated my 11th wedding anniversary this weekend. 11 years.
Happy anniversary.
We went and had a little day date and did some drinking. I had some strawberry lime mules. They were so good. But I don't drink anymore. I know we joke about it all the time. I really seriously don't drink alcohol very often.
I do.
I was wired, man. Sunday night, I was up at like 1 o'clock and I was like, I can't sleep. I'm ready to start my day. So
Ready to go.
add another list of reasons why Athena actually doesn't drink.
That's right. The list is long. But having these events and gatherings and stuff will really help like vendors engage with other vendors, and grow their business and have fun, right? At the same time. And then from there, what you can start doing is having a VIP vendor list where you pick like your top 25 vendors, the ones that give you like a lot of business and stuff, right? So you're giving them extra stuff. So then the other vendors are like, oh, I want to be a part of your VIP group. Remember how we've done some trainings in the past about like our VIP members for our clients, for our real estate clients? Well, you can do the same thing for vendors, because whenever you create an exclusive club, everybody who's not in it wants to be in it, right?
That's right. And it's totally okay to be like, listen, if you want to be a part of this, this is what you have to do. We have a lender that we work with frequently, and the market's been a little bit different. So things have been a little bit different. But when we were having like broker open houses a lot in open houses, she literally had a rule that for every closing that you sent her, she would sponsor your broker open with a taco bar. People.
I miss open houses. Like our houses don't stay on the market long enough to have open houses anymore, but man, do I miss the broker opens and free lunches.
But it's okay to set your expectations. You should set your expectations, because that's how you're going to filter out who you want to work with and who might not be a good fit.
Yeah, and a lot goes into, those expectations, like response time and stuff. And I was having lunch yesterday that got me really sick with two lenders from different companies. And, we were just talking, about the expectations on like the realtor side and, the lender side with pre-approvals and, stuff like that. And, for me, I'm typically like just a text person and like, hey, like, when you have time, can you just send this over to me? And, one of the lenders was like, hey, like I have my top like 5 realtors that I'm going to answer on a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, like they don't send me stuff. They don't, take care of me and stuff. Well, I'm not going to take away my family time.
100%. And that vendor partner has built her business and earned the right to do that.
Yeah.
She's not being non-responsive. She's not acting like she's better than anyone else. She has built her business and earned the right to take off the weekends. I stole that from Adam Bailey, by the way. Isn't that who posted that? I loved it. I mean, that was like life-changing. And also I was like not taking calls because it was my anniversary weekend. Not that I wasn't taking calls, but I wasn't like actively like working the weekend. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was like, oh, I didn't really earn it this week.
Well, but I mean, you have because of where you are in your business now too. Like, I mean, everybody when they're first starting out, they have the hustle, they have the drive, the excitement. They're also not usually overwhelmed with a lot of work too. So they can, drop whatever they're doing and they want to, which is, part of the battle.
Yeah. Is this an okay time to go off script a little bit and talk about what happens when you might get a bad one? Or am I
when you need to break up? No, when you need to break up with a vendor, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Not everybody's a perfect fit. They just aren't. There's a couple things to keep in mind with it, though. A, real estate is a really small world. Do not burn a bridge. Ever. Don't burn a bridge. I feel like I'm attacking people today, and I don't mean to. But don't burn a bridge. It's not worth it.
It's hard.
It's too small of a world, because you never know when you're going to be the listing agent and that attorney is the buyer, representing the buyer, and they don't want to talk to you because you are a bitch.
Or that home inspector that you had a bad experience with is now inspecting your listing.
Yeah. And I mean, they're not going to go after, nobody in this professional world should be going after you that way. They should not. I would hope that we would all have a working professional relationship, but it's freaking awkward.
Yeah.
It's awkward. Don't be that way. So yeah, just
Don't be awkward.
Don't burn a bridge. Keep the honest communication open. If they let you down, if the attorney misses a deadline or they don't send out a document quick enough or what your client thought they should have done quick enough, tell them that. Give them the opportunity to make it better before you just are like, no, sorry, moving on. Give people the opportunity to fix things because you don't know both sides of the story. You don't know that the client actually emailed them 8 times in less than an hour demanding something. And they were like, okay, watch this.
Yeah.
Because we're all human.
Exactly.
But also make sure that when you do have this conversation with them and say, hey, it's not really working out, just give them the opportunity to fix it first.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing.
And I think, I know you wanted to talk about, the reflections and, stuff like that. And, I've been reflecting a lot over the last year and sometimes just taking in like the bigger picture and not just your side of stuff is a big growth thing as well.
Yeah, I want you to talk about, because I like the way that you put it, when you give somebody a referral and it doesn't work out.
I don't remember what I said.
So basically, like it's going to happen, like with this vendor list, you're going to give somebody a recommendation and it's not going to work out. Their personalities aren't going to match or it wasn't exactly what they were asking for. And they're going to come back at you and it's going to be your fault.
Yeah.
Don't let it be your fault. Be prepared for that ahead of time because once you start working with all of these people and you start working with your vendors and your clients and matchmaking everywhere, things are not going to work out everywhere. So just be prepared and tell your clients ahead of time, like, hey, I have this recommendation, but you need to also do your own research too and kind of set that expectation up front.
So how would you, like protect yourself in that situation for it not to come back and bite you in the butt?
Well, I wouldn't work with somebody unless I know that they were good. But I mean, even that is hard because I mean, you and I are the perfect example of this. You've had a really good experience with some people that I'm like,
yes.
Ew.
Yeah.
And vice versa. I'm like, I love that person. And you're like, what? Why?
Yeah. And it really makes you like, almost get like stage fright of like even sharing and recommending vendors because you don't want it to come back.
Well, this is just kind of a random thought, but I would say that if you're going to refer a vendor, call the vendor ahead of time and say, hey, I want to let you know this person's calling you and this is kind of what they're looking for. That way they're not caught off guard when the phone call comes in and they can kind of be a little bit more prepared.
I also think, I think that that's really nice, but I think that's always not very feasible too if you send people like a vendor list and you're like, here's, my vendor list. But what I would say is I would always tell my clients and be like, hey, tell them that Jess recommended them. Tell them Jess sent you. Because then that way, when that vendor partner hears my name, not that I'm all some godly person, but because we have that relationship, they better be taking care of somebody that I sent their way.
100%.
Or else.
100%. And follow up afterwards. Like if you send somebody a contractor, follow up in a week and be like, hey, I just wanted to check in on this. Did this work out for you or do you need another recommendation? Because that right there shows that you care. You're taking the time to follow up.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, it's also a great opportunity for you to check and make sure that that vendor is still somebody that you want on your vendor preferred partner list. And your
people change as their businesses grow. Some people don't know how to grow a business. Yeah. So when they're first starting out, they're perfect. They're on the ball. They're going to every single, they're picking up the phone, they're answering the texts, they're answering the emails. And then the word gets out that they're freaking amazing. Yeah. And then they get busy and they don't leverage their business. And then they can't pick up all those calls. So
stop responding, or then they start doing shitty work because they're busy or they miss appointments. And then at that time, it's time to reevaluate your relationship.
Yeah. So I guess going through your vendor list at least semi-annually is probably a good idea.
Definitely.
and maybe even reach out to them at that semi-annual check-in and be like, hey, or the quarterly check-in, like you were saying, that gives you a reason to call your vendor partner and say, hey, I just wanted to make sure that you still wanted to remain on this vendor list.
Yep. And work on your, when you do, from our previous scheduling episodes and trainings, when you're scheduling out your social media or your content, your client events for the year and stuff, now you can start adding vendor events, and all of that stuff on there as well. And I know, Athena, before we do, our recap on this episode and stuff, I know you wanted to try and talk a little bit about, now it's like the second quarter of the year.
It is. Yeah, that's how we were going to kind of start out. I was listening to a podcast this morning and she was like, hey, how'd your first quarter go? And I was like, what? Holy fuck balls.
Yeah. Where did the time go? It's tax time.
Y'all, the first quarter's done.
Stop.
First quarter's done.
Mm-mm.
Take some time to reflect and figure out where you are in your business goals. Did you get the sales that you needed to? Are you in line to fill the holes that you missed? If you're struggling with any of that, don't forget that you can reach out to us for a one-on-one on Calendly. That link is in our group. You can send us a message, literally like any way that you want to get a hold of us. We'll take 30 minutes of our time and just go over what you did. Did you do what you wanted to do? Or maybe you did something really well and you want to figure out how to do it better or capitalize on that. Just give us a call because you need to run through this with someone else. Don't think you can do it on your own.
Yeah, have somebody else's eyes look at it. And we're always happy to help and, provide value and even just be your cheerleader and just be excited for you. I have a friend that's in our group and she, messages me all the time and shares. So she's like, oh my gosh, I just created my landing page. And I was like, yay, like I knew you could do it. And, just having that, support and that friendship and stuff. And, we're states and states apart, but, just having that extra cheerleader is amazing for people.
Yeah.
And we love it too. So it helps us too.
Hey, I've got questions that I want to ask other people that aren't here.
You mean besides me?
Like like those big city folk.
The big city folk, yeah.
What's going on in your market that I can expect in 6 months?
The big city folk.
Are people literally giving away puppies and children in Austin, Texas, or are we still just doing money?
I'll take the money one.
Did grandma's diamond ring get thrown into the offer or?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's happening in this market?
What do I need to prepare myself for? So
that's good. I like that. So, what I want everybody to do is, take 30 minutes to an hour, schedule it out, plan out your vendor partner list or the ones that you want to find partners for and start working on those relationships. Go into the businesses, talk to them, build the rapport, give them your card, ask them for a stack of cards, talk to them, ask them about their business, and start working on your vendor program today.
And don't be an asshole. Be nice to people.
Yeah, like that is solid life advice.
So like looking back as we're closing out on this, like I still feel the same way. Like my end piece of advice is don't be one-sided.
Yeah.
Don't be selfish. Work together.
Exactly. And you know what? When you work together, your picture just gets bigger. You double everything.
Well, like I'm like looking back at like everything you said during this podcast and like literally like if you just treat your vendor partners like you do your clients, you've just increased your database by 50, 100 people without trying.
Yeah, because you're moving up that vendor's partners list as well. They're going to love you just that much more.
That's right.
Love it.
Yay.
All right, friends. Well, as you know, we have finished the 30-day listing challenge. We're going to work on, something new for the group coming up soon. We also want to do a new Let's Drink About It night. So we're going to work on that. We got a lot of stuff coming up.
Life is really freaking busy right now.
It really is. Yeah.
It's just the time of year.
It is. And it's only going to get worse when summer comes. So
speaking of, we'll have to keep everyone updated, but I think in 2 weeks, we probably won't have an episode, or maybe we'll just have to switch the day. We'll have to talk about it and see what you want to do.
I'll be here.
We know you're going to Florida.
No, I don't leave till Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
I planned it accordingly.
Okay. Well, maybe everyone will just take us on their vacations with them then.
Yeah, I'll be here Tuesday. I planned it accordingly.
Yay, okay.
Well, not everybody will have spring break the same time we do either.
That's true. Some people have already had it and it snowed the whole time.
Yeah. So I'm going to Florida for spring break. My daughter has a cheerleading competition, but I will be here. I made sure I would be here for the podcast that week, and I come back the Monday before the next podcast.
And then the next month, we're both going to South Carolina, the exact same town, but like 1 week apart from each other. That sucks.
No, mine's in June.
Oh, well, mine's the last week of May.
Oh, yeah.
Sucks we can't go together.
I know. I can't believe it's already. All right, let's talk about it. It's only April. It just started. Can't get ahead of ourselves.
Also, we need to go cry in the corner because we both have adult children now.
It is sad. We're way too young for adult children. Anyways, we're so excited. We want to connect with y'all. We're trying to, develop some more relationships with everybody on a one-on-one level to see how we can support your business. So shoot us a message and let's connect.